Hello, and thanks for joining the Frosty Sith channel today for the first episode in the Lighten Up playlist, where we're going to be taking a look at the different components of our backpacking systems and do videos on each one of those components, where we've looked at the previous year, what we actually carried, and evaluated that, sort of start, stop, continue, what we should do with that particular portion of the kit, and then end up with what are we actually taking for this season's backpacking trip with a focus on lightening up. Let's dive into the Tenkara Fishing Kit. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at the Tenkara fly fishing kit that I carried with us on our 2021 trek. And this is it right here, without the pole, because you have to have a pole anyway. And this is really about what are the other accessories that I took in my kit, what do I need, what should I leave out, and what do I really need for Tenkara fly fishing in 2022. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to dive into what's in this bag, the bag itself, the net, and do I need these things? And so let's just start with the net. So this is a Daiwa light backpacking net. You just pull it out and it's great. So if you've got some extra long fish, 22, 24, 28-inch fish, this really will help you get them landed. Do I need that? Is it required? No, it's not required. It simply makes hauling in those fish and getting them landed easier than if you're just limited to the Tenkara rod and backing up to try and get the fish onto shore. So, do I need it? No. Probably 80 to 90% of the fish that we landed last year, I didn't even get this net out. There were only a handful of fish that were really big enough where this was very useful to have. But I'm probably not going to take this in 2022 because we're trying to lighten up. So we'll come back and talk about the bag at the end. But let's talk about what's in the bag. And this is the stuff that I took last year. I did not take a stringer. I've added this because I do plan to take a stringer this year. A stringer is not required because if you have a knife, you can use a tree branch and make a stringer. But for the weight, I've decided to add one. Everything else in this bag is what I took last year. I may have reordered some things, but all this stuff went with me. So I've got a couple of lines that are pre-rigged. We'll talk about these in a minute. Got a box of flies. These are mostly dry flies for topwater style fly fishing. I've got some extra foam. I've got a whole jar, brand new jar of number 4 sinker weights. Do I need a whole jar of number 4 sinker weights? No, I don't. But we'll talk about that more in just a second. Royal jelly. This gives the flies kind of a little sheen or reflection under the water potentially. Do I need this? I don't think I need this, and certainly not a whole bottle of this. So that's not going for sure. Floatant, silicone floatant. Do I need this for dry flies? No, you don't need it. If you're going to be doing a lot of dry fly fishing, this can be very helpful. In the area that we're going during the particular time before the summer equinox, they're probably going to be mostly catching fish on nymphs and emerging pattern flies under the water, wet flies. And so I don't need a whole bottle of silicone stuff floating for that. 5X tippet. Now this is what I prefer. The tippet size is 5X that I like. But one of the things I did is I've had this spool for a number of years and I wasn't sure how much tippet was left on it. So I pulled it all off, measured it. It was about 12 meters of tippet material, and put that onto one of these foam line keepers. And you're probably asking why go to the trouble. Well, the The foam line keeper is almost 3 grams in weight. And so this spool that the tippet material came on, it's about 17 grams in weight. So do I need to carry this? Absolutely not, even if I need 5X tippet, because I've got 12 meters of tippet on this and it only weighs about 5 grams total, the line holder plus the line. So that's what I'm taking for tippet material. I'm not taking that spool. Got another other number of more robust line keepers that I took with me last year, and these work great and they're super handy, but each one of them weighs about 17 grams each. And again, compared to something that is averaging slightly less than 3 grams, that just doesn't make sense to carry these more robust ones, even for being, you know, on basically a 2-week backpacking trip. These foam ones are going to hold up fine. 3X tippet material. Do I need 3X? So the 5X is about a 4-pound weight. The 3X is about a 6-pound weight. Do I need the 3X tippet? No, I don't. 4-pound is plenty. We've caught really big fish on 4-pound. I've never had a problem using the 5X tippet, so I don't need that. And I certainly, even if I was going to take 3X tippet, I would transfer it over to a lightweight foam spool. I've got some fluorocarbon mainline here. Some people choose to Tenkara fish with mainline, and you could use monofilament. A lot of people use fluorocarbon. I use furled line for my main line, and so I'll probably give a few meters of this to my backpacking buddy and have him carry in case I want to try fishing with a fluorocarbon mainline, but I really don't plan to, so I'm not carrying any of that. I did carry last year, in addition to these 2 lines, I also carried extra furled main lines, and I didn't need these. My main line, your chance of losing a main line, a furled main line, is very low, but I carried extras, so I've got 3 extras here, and I'm not taking any of them extras. I've got a float strike indicator. I don't ever use it. I don't need it, and we'll talk more about that later. I've got some snippers, and I'm definitely taking these, and I do like the fact that I can wear this pinned to my shirt, and it's just super handy. And so even though this is an extra 5 or 6 grams for the retractable spool, I'm taking the nippers and the pin-on spool. I also have another fly box, and this last year was mostly wet flies. I've recombined these 2 boxes into one, and we'll look at that in a second. And then I've got some magnifiers to go on my sunglasses just for when I'm changing ties or tying tippet leader. So I'm taking those for sure. So the question now is, you know, do I need this bag to organize this stuff? And so let's be clear on what this stuff is. So I've taken flies out of here, put them into here. I'm only taking this one fly box. It's mostly dry flies, so nymphs and emerger patterns, stone flies, a few leech patterns, that kind of thing. And there are a few dry flies in here just in case there's some kind of a hatch and dry fly fishing may be the thing to go. I've got a few flies. This is plenty, so I don't need 2 fly boxes. I will take this extra piece of foam, and this is upcycled from some flies that I purchased, and this was in the bottom of the box. Flies were stuck into the slits, and that's how they were delivered. But taking this, a lot of times if you're in a precarious position on a rock, you know, Tenkara fishing, and you want to change up your flies on your rig, it's easier just to snip the fly off and stick it someplace like this, and then stick it in your pocket, than to have to deal with reorganizing it back in the box, etc. And so that's how I'm going to use this. It only weighs about 1 gram, and so it's almost nothing. And also, if I needed a strike indicator for some reason, you know, I can pull off a section of this foam, fold it in half, it has adhesive on the back, and make a strike indicator out of it. So multifunction, super light, I'm definitely taking that. And so how am I going to carry this gear if I'm not taking a bag? And for me, that's really easy because I am taking 2 main lines, and they're already on these lightweight line holders. And so you've got the whole main line plus a little over 1 meter of tippet material, and then the fly rig. So both of these are already pre-rigged with dropper system. So on this one I've got a stone fly and then a little purple flashing emerger pattern. And on this one, this is actually the actual main line that I fished with in 2021, the whole trip. And I think on day 9, I broke my rod. And so if you go watch the vlog for day 9, you'll see that. And this is the same rig. So I've got a pink nymph back here and a little black, like Adam's done, but it's black pattern. Looks like a mosquito. And so with these 2 rigs, that should be more than enough. Plus I've got 12 meters of 5X tippet. And so that should be good. So how am I going to carry these? Well, on all my shirts, I have, not this shirt, but the shirts I'll be taking, I have 2 pockets, PFG shirts. And so I'll have these in my pockets, and then I will carry this in a pocket, shirt pocket. And then this will go in the baggy pocket on my trekking pants, probably on the right side. This will get pinned onto my shirt, and this will go in the left baggy pocket on my pants, and this will be on my sunglasses. And so with this little bit of gear, do I need something like this? Because this was super handy. And it was handy for a couple reasons. One, I could keep all the gear in one bag, and so if I was ready doing camp chores and ready to go fish, I could grab this one thing. The belt allows you to put a bear spray canister sleeve on the belt, and so that way I'm not having to mess with my main belt on my pants. I could just grab this, throw it on. I knew I had all my stuff with me, more stuff than I actually needed, and then off to go fishing. So, but do I need that? No, I don't need that. It's super handy. And so with this little bit of gear that I actually need for a successful fly fishing trip, I'm not doing that. Now I will have a tiny, very ultra lightweight baggie that in my pack, this stuff will go into a single bag just to organize it in my pack. But when I'm using it and carrying it, it's just going to be in shirt pockets and pant pockets and all my sunglasses and good to go. So I don't need this. So how much weight savings did this planning ahead and preparing, sort of analyzing what to start, stop, and continue with respect to this particular kit component, the fly fishing portion of my backpacking kit, what's the weight difference? What's the savings? Was it worth taking time and thinking about it ahead of time? Because one of the reasons that I have extra stuff that I took last year that I didn't really need is I didn't make the time to plan ahead and prepare. We got up to close to the time to leave, and I just put a bunch of stuff in my bag, and I knew I would have more than enough gear. And that's kind of typical for what we might do as humans, right? You got the stuff, take it, don't worry about a few 100 grams. Well, in this case, what I carried last year without the bear spray was about 750 grams of weight. What I'm carrying this year, including the baggie for this, is 126 grams of weight. And so that's what, 625 roughly grams saved, or 85% weight savings. It's worth planning ahead and preparing and thinking about these things and doing the start, stop, continue with each segment of your kit. And so that's what we've done today with the fly fishing. I'm gonna have a great time fly fishing with just this gear and have saved a bunch of weight in the process. So stay tuned for future Lighten Up playlist videos as we add them. We'll be reviewing things like our lighting, first aid kits, just other components where there are areas that we want to analyze that area and see if there's a better alternative that will make us at least the same level of success, but a lot lighter weight option. So stay tuned for those. Hopefully we'll get a few of those out here the rest of the month, and just keep ticking away as we get ready to depart for our Wind River Range 2022 trip. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, please leave those in the comments section below. We always love to get your feedback, and if we can answer your questions, we certainly will. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, then probably Instagram is the best way to do that, and typically we post things that are going on in other parts of the Frosty Sith world. So you can check us out at Frosty Sith on Instagram. And that kind of wraps it up. So just remember, whenever you can, get up, get out, live a little. See ya. All right, everybody ready to roll?
Yes.
All right, it's coming up on 7 a.m. and we're just gonna podunk our way back to the trailhead.
Day 10, people. Day 10.
Day 10.
10 days in the Fitzpatrick Wilderness, man. Been a good time, man.
Excellent.
Well, it's time to get a shower and a cheeseburger and some onion rings, man.
Yep, maybe even a shave.